Hey everyone, Greta here, and welcome to today's episode talk about yoga and smartphone. So since the smartphone has become one of the most popular yoga props in the last decade, I thought it would be good to just talk about it. We post everything online, including yoga photos. A lot of people would carry their phones around, me included, and would basically film everything. So filming the yoga practice or taking photos of people doing yoga poses and posting online seems very natural. So today we are going to talk about, the phenomenon, being filmed and also filming yourself practice. Okay, so the phenomenon, again, social media and everything. So it's very, very easy to just take a snap of people doing a yoga shape and then posting online and hashtagging yoga. Is it a bad thing? No, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I think it's always a good thing to promote yoga. Taking photos of people doing shapes and promote it as yoga, because not everyone knows what yoga is, or not everyone have heard of yoga. So it's good. But then it's such a gray area because, not every shape that you see online that people post is accessible. Some could be very intimidating, but then I think that's another category that deserve its own episode, so I wouldn't comment too much on it. Rather, I'll just pull back and say, is just posting a video or a photograph of someone doing a yoga pose or yoga practice enough to be classified as yoga? I would say it's a good way of letting people have a glimpse of what it is. Maybe use it as an entrance or a gateway to let people kind of get in touch with what yoga is all about. But then just filming or posting a photograph is not enough, because for yoga it's not just about the shape, right? There are 8 limbs. The yoga shape, we call it asana, is just one of the limbs. If you have to post online, this is one of the limbs that you can post, that you can show. Another limb I can think of is the pranayama, the breathing, breathing techniques, because there are specific ways to do specific breathing techniques. So some of the ways you can share it, be it in form of a photograph or maybe a video, but then I think that's about it. All the other limbs, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to show. Withdrawing of the senses, deepening the concentration, all those stuff. It's impossible to share in just one photograph. Okay, even if you see someone doing a meditative shape, posting online and calling it meditation, or calling it, withdrawing the senses, whatever. Again, that's just words or caption that's written underneath the photograph or the video. We cannot experience what that individual is experiencing, so it cannot justify what yoga is all about simply, just by the look of a photograph or a video, if that makes any sense. It's good to just kind of, take happy pictures and all that and post it online, but then it's not what yoga is all about. I wouldn't say it's not what yoga is truly about, because that person is showing a yoga shape or whatever, but it's not the complete package. That's all I could say. So if that makes any sense. And it's coming from me. I post a lot of yoga shape photos online. Okay, and being filmed. I do understand, coming from a freelance yoga teacher point of view, that filming the practice or filming people doing the practice is important, because that's how you get to kind of introduce or promote yourself as a yoga teacher. So it is important to let people know what you teach and how you teach, again, from a very one-dimensional point of view. But then that's also very quite controversial. I remember a long time ago when Instagram first became popular, there were yoga teachers taking photos of people doing shavasana, and posting them online and saying, it was a good class, stuff like that. And then there were a lot of comments kind of critiquing about it, saying, it's not right. It feels violated. It's a very personal moment. People doing shavasana, why would you want to, show their most vulnerable side and, basically share it to the world? So at the time, when that was not popular, then there were a lot of negative comments about it. But then I guess through time, and again, the way we live has changed dramatically with smartphone, then it's become more acceptable. However, I would still be very conscious and very sensitive of what I film and what I post online. As a yoga teacher, freelance yoga teacher, I need to promote myself. I don't really film anything unless it's like a workshop or a special event. And even then, I would ask for permission and consent. And even when I do have the consent, I would be very, very careful of what I film. I would usually film from a far away, big group, so you don't really see any close-up of faces or body parts that might be too sensitive, like the chest, the abs, or the glutes and all those stuff. Nothing that could trigger any awkwardness or inappropriateness, if that makes any sense. Because it's from a very personal thing. I had a chance of being filmed, and I was not happy about it at all. So I attended a workshop quite a few years ago, and I knew that I would be filmed because it was a guest teacher, it was a workshop. So I actually, the sign up form actually had something about being filmed and all that stuff, and I thought, yeah, whatever, I understand it, and so I thought it was fine. But then what they actually posted online, it was a photo of me in a very, very, for me, I thought it was a very inappropriate shape to be filmed, yet alone to be shown in public. And I thought I was actually very uncomfortable with it. I had wanted to send him a message asking to take it down, but in the end I didn't. Come to think of it now, I think I should have. I just didn't feel it should be posted. Yeah, simply because of the shape of the nature of the yoga shape. It wasn't something that would be very pleasant to be seen. So, and also when I practice, I tend to be very messy. My hair is messy. I don't have any makeup on and stuff like that. So that's why when I am the photographer, or when I want to take records of me teaching, when people are practicing my sequence, I tend to be very careful of filming, because when I take my practice very personally, it's very raw, very honest. I think that there might be another individual that would be the same as me. The hair might be very messy, they may be sweating, they might have this, not their best look. So if I do take it and if I show it, would they be unhappy about it. You know, saying yes or having permission or having consent to be filmed is one thing, and what to film and what to show is another thing, if you understand what I mean. So if you are, filming other people, you need to be very careful of what you film. And yeah, so that's just how I think about, being filmed in other people's yoga practice. Okay, so what about filming your own practice? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, actually. Of course, I mean, if you are filming your personal practice, just make sure that you're setting up your camera so it's just filming yourself and not your teammates. If other people are being filmed into the content, and if you decide to show it online, whatever, just make sure that you have their consent. And if you didn't have that consent, or you didn't know that other people were filmed into the content and you want to show it on your social media, just make sure you blur them, put a sticker on their face or whatever, so they are being respected. I don't think it's a bad thing to film your own practice. For me, I film my practice because I do my self-practice. If I don't film it, sometimes I kind of slack off. But if I film it, I'll be like, okay, someone's watching. Kind of like there's someone, even though it's a camera, even though it's not a living object. I would still feel that I need to be more disciplined. And also, when you are practicing shapes that you cannot really see yourself, it will be good to film. Because although yoga is all about feeling, sometimes in shapes that when we talk about balancing shapes, it's good to be more objective and look at it from a more objective point of view, in order to know how you're doing, in order to find your optimal balancing point, i.e. Inversions. You can't see yourself when you're upside down, so maybe your legs are not as straight up as they could be, for you to feel a little bit lighter in your shape. Maybe your legs are always in a little pike, and you feel that over time, when you stay in that inversion for a longer time, then you feel very heavy. You feel very there's a lot of weights in maybe your arms and shoulders that's not needed. If your legs were more straight up, pointing into the sky. And often it's those shapes that even with the help of a teacher, sometimes you just don't know why the teacher is saying that. It's not that you don't trust the teacher, it's just that you don't understand why, or you might not be able to get what the teacher wants you to do. So having your phone filming you and then you watching the playback, and then you will understand why the teacher wants you to do something, or what is it that you're missing in order to feel happy or feel light and feel at ease when you are in that particular yoga shape. So that's it for my sharing for today. Yoga and the phone again. The phone itself is not a negative thing nor a positive thing. It could be negative and positive depending on how you use it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Take it easy.